And welcome again. My name is Julio Rosebeck. We want to jump into this awesome subject again today. It's awesome message. And of course, you can see the screen. It's telling you the message. The law of the flesh, which came through Moses, the law, which is what we call the law of works or the law of the flesh, is was tolerated until John the Baptist, not after John. It has no authority after John. It can be used after John to teach, to criticize, to guide, but after John is the law of faith. And anybody bringing the works of the flesh is violating the law of faith. How long must the Lord strive with you and stubborn men, ignorant men that want to mix the old wine with the new wine, or put old new wine in old bottles? It's going to explode it. Claire, let's understand. This is an example. If you have a phone, example, a phone, name the best phone what they have, what they call best, which is capable of doing everything, speaking to it, talking to it. It can lock on the radio, lock on the light, lock on, do everything, watch the cameras, everything. The owner says, the creator said, it is only valuable until the battery dies. When the battery dies, it's done. It has no power anymore to do anything that it was intended to do. Unless now you replace the battery or you put a new. Now, the same goes, example, is with the law of works and the law of faith. You can't mix the two of them. One is for the earth, the other is for heaven. That pleases God. Only faith pleases God, not works. Our works are filthy rags. So, we have people now glorifying, magnifying the law of the flesh. Let's go to what Jesus says and how he explains. Remember the example of the telephone. He says here in Luke 16 and verse 16, the law, which is the law of the flesh that came to Moses, to all the children of Israel, not the women of Israel, like in Romans 7 verse 3, they will say, oh, it's only to the woman, or it's only to the deacon, or it's only to the pastor, or it's only to the prophet, or it's only to the... No, it's to all Israel. Law for one Israelite is the law for all Israelites. Don't go pick and choosing. That's what I hate with the Hebrew Israelites and what I hate with the wicked children of hell. They always pick and choose what they want. Oh, this don't pertain to us. It only pertains to the Gentiles. No. Law for one is law for all. And Jesus saying to all Israel, Jews, Israelites, and Gentiles, the law that came to Moses, the flesh or works, and the prophets, all the prophets until John the Baptist, and Christ is the sealing of the prophets, the major one for the new covenant. All of them before him were until John the Baptist. That's what he said in Luke 16:16. The law and the prophets were until John. Until the battery dead. It's done. It can't do nothing else. He says, since that time, which means now after the time of John, since after the time of John, What? The kingdom of God is preached. The will of God is preached. The original intent of God is preached. Not what Moses say, what God original intent says. Not what the prophets say, what the God original intent is and was. That must be preached. Not 2, 3, 4, 5 wives. God's original intent for the wife. Not 6 men or 7 men. God's intent for the wife to have one husband. No, they're going to jump now and say, yeah, look at 17. And it is easier for heaven and earth to pass than one tittle of the law fail. Listen, Hebrew Israelites and stubborn-headed, that one tittle of the law fail does not give it authority to pass John the Baptist. Whatever the telephone could do, it does not give it power if the battery is dead. And the law that came to Moses, which is the law of the flesh, is done, is until John the Baptist. Yeah, again, you can use it to teach, you can use it to edify, to correct, but you can't use it for righteousness to justify your sin against the law of faith that came through Jesus Christ. Because it is Jesus alone that pleases God. When he saw Moses, Elijah, and Jesus, when the disciples rose up, they saw one person standing. That was Jesus Christ. And God said that at the moment, this is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Hear him. Not hear Pastor Dowell, not hear Hebrew Israelites, not hear nobody else. Hear him. And from him comes his spirit that he sent. And the Spirit of God will guide us into all truth. Not Pastor Dowell, nor anybody else. Because they're guiding you into adultery and into hellfire. Because they want to bring the law that Christ said ends on is prophesied valid. Tell John, they want to bring the same crap. They want to bring the same sins and works of the flesh over into the law of faith, and they don't work. They're contrary to each other. The law of the Spirit fights against the flesh, and the flesh fights against, and Pastor Dowdem agreeing with the flesh. And they want to say that the flesh going to bring you to heaven. So all of them, Matthew 8 and verse 12, will be cast into outer darkness where they be wailing and gnashing of teeth because of the wickedness and because of the hard-headedness. We're going to show you again in 1 Corinthians 6. 1 Corinthians 6 from verse 9. We're only going to take the subjects which always come first that will not inherit the kingdom of heaven. I'm going to show you. 1 Corinthians 6 of verse 9. It says, know ye not that unrighteousness shall not inherit the kingdom of God? Be not deceived by Pastor Dow. Listen, neither fornicators, which is engaged people that never had was married, indulging sex with another unmarried person, that's fornication. Neither fornicators nor adulterers. Adulterers now are those who are married and want to go marry another woman or marry another man. That's adulterers and adulteresses. This is the New Testament after John tells you neither fornicators nor adulterers will inherit the kingdom of God. Galatians 5 we read from verse 16, it tells us again and shows us that we should not follow, not be under that law of the flesh. Galatians 5:16, it said, this I say then, walk in the Spirit, which means walk in the law of faith and life, and you shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh, which is the law of works and the flesh. For the law, the flesh lusted against the Spirit, and the Spirit against the flesh. Those two laws work against each other. The law that came to Moses and the law that came to Jesus. There is respect and tolerance for the one until John, and now from John on to the kingdom, the law of faith. And those who want to commit adultery still, marrying more than one woman, in the time period, the dispensation of the law of faith is in error, in violation to the law, that God will judge for breaking the law, because it's transgression against the law of faith that Pastor Doug can't see because Satan has blinded his eyes, because he wants to fulfill the lust of his flesh.